let's say we have an example like this. Express the equation 4x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 4y plus c equals 0 in standard form. So this is a general form. We want to change it into the standard form, and then you have to state what type of conic section is this, find the center and the vertices, and then sketch it, right? So the first thing is you have to identify what conic section is this. If you watch my previous video, you have to see that this coefficient is not 1 and it's not the same as the y squared. So you know that this will be an ellipse because both have the square, it's just that the coefficient is different. So what we have to do is now you want to find standard form. You have to do completing the square. That's our first step. So if you want to complete the square, you have to arrange the x together with the x and the y together with the y. Okay, and I'm going to move all the constant to the back. Alright. So after this, if you have coefficient at the front which is not 1, you cannot do it yet. So you have to take out the 4. Sorry, this will be 2. Alright. And then this is already coefficient 1, so it's okay. You can just leave it like this. Okay, we're going to start completing the square right now. So for maintain, you're going to have x squared minus 2x plus negative 2 over 2 squared minus negative over 2 squared, close bracket. That is for the x part. For the y part, you're going to have y squared minus 4y plus negative 4 over 2 squared minus negative 4 over 2 squared equals to negative 4. So we're going to take only the first term and the third term. For x, negative 2 over 2 will be negative 1, so x minus 1 squared minus negative 1 squared 1. That's for the x part. For the y part, it's still the first term and the third term. So it will be y minus negative 4 over 2, negative 2 squared minus negative 2 squared, 4 equals to negative 4. So this one, you have to expand it and then collect all the numbers at the right hand side. So 4x minus 1 squared minus 4 plus y minus 2 squared minus 4 equals to negative 4. So 4x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals to 4. I rearrange it, and if you realize, the standard form of an ellipse must be equals to 1. So we cannot have this at the end, you have to divide 4. So let's say it's some other numbers here, you have to divide with some other number. So if you divide by 4, you're going to have x minus 1 squared over 1 plus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals to 1. So this is the standard form of an ellipse. So you can see that the center is 1, 2, alright? And then the A would be 1, the B would be square root of 4, so 2. Okay, so if you're going to state the conic section, is actually ellipse. Alright, find its center and vertices. So the center is negative 1, 2, so we have to sketch the shape. Since B is bigger than 1, bigger than A, so you know that the shape would look like something like this. Okay, the center is here, 1, 2. if A is 1, which means here is 1, B is 2, so here is 2. Okay, so the vertices is here. So logically, if you say, let's say this is V1, V2, V3, V4, and let's call this F1, F2. So your V1 would be, so from the center upwards, so the X coordinate maintain the same. It's just that this Y coordinate will change, but it increased by 2. So plus 2, which is 1, 4. And for the V2, the X coordinate is the same, but then the 2 goes down. So it's minus 2. So it's 1, 0. Okay, V3. So here, the Y coordinate will be the same, but the X coordinate will change because it's going to the left. So 1 minus 1 because the distance is 1, and still 2, so it's 0, 2. V4, so it's still 1 but plus 1 because you go to the right, and 2, so it will be 2, 2. Your F1, so you have to find distance C first because this is distance C. Okay, so I'm just gonna write it here. C squared is actually equals to B squared minus A squared because B is bigger. So C squared is actually 2 squared minus 1. So C is square root of 3. Okay. So from here you're gonna have F1 as 1. Am I right? And then because it's going upwards, so the Y coordinate will change, plus square root of 3, and the F2 will be 1, but 2 minus square root of 3 for the Y coordinate. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in all the coordinates here. So it asks you to sketch, right? So you have to put the axis as well. Since you have the 0 point here, you have to know that this is Y equals, the Y equals to 0, so here is the x-axis, and you have 0x here, so here is the y-axis. Okay, remember you have to have the correct shape, all the points, there are 6 here, alright, and the center and the axis to get the full mark. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out for you to see.